Scorpio. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to your career spread for the month of July 2023. I thought I'll switch things around since we've been reading for love pretty consistently on this channel. I thought, why not tap into our money and career energies as well for the upcoming month of July 2023. I hope all of you are doing amazing and having a blast in June. I hope June is living up to your expectations and some. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to do a bit of a free-flowing sort of spread. And get tons of messages from our spirit team, get guidance. So stick with me till the end, Scorpio. You know the drill. And if this video resonates with you, please do hit that like button for me. And if you are called to subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate that. It really helps my channel grow. It helps me put out the word to more Scorpios. It helps other Scorpios find this message and get the guidance that they need at this point in time for their money and career. So let's see. First, Scorpio, I just want to check in and see lately, how have you been, thinking, or when you think about work, what have been your main thoughts around your money and career? That just helps me sort of contextualize everything. So just, getting all set up. Let's see what's coming out through the gate is, two things. Okay. Interesting. So if you've been watching me on my channel, firstly, thank you for the love and support, but you also know that I don't read reversals. I read intuitively, but sometimes just how the cards come out, I was looking for one card, but they gave me two. So I always respect what my spirit team wants me to relay and communicate to all of you. So this is interesting. I think the Five of Pentacles showing up in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles showing upright. Lately, when you've been thinking about work, I think you've had a step change in your ideas and your thoughts about work. Wherever in the past you felt disempowered, or you felt like you don't have what it takes, or a sense of lack, or maybe some of you have had some kind of shortage of money or financial constraints in the recent past or lately, obviously it's a general reading. So past could mean few weeks, few months for some people, maybe even up to a year. This has started to shift for you, and you've started to realize that if you put in the work and if you start to recognize your skills and talents, you can actually grow your financial abundance. You can grow more money. You can also just find more success in your career. So this is really nice. From what have your thoughts been about career and money? So I think this is great. You're stepping out of that feeling of lack into a feeling of, okay, I can create the abundance that I want, that I seek, and I can do it in a way that kind of sits right with my skill set. I'm using the Lightseers Tarot deck here, and I absolutely love this deck. And if you look at this image here, she's got her tools and things that kind of call out to her. So I see flowers, I see a feather, I see books, I see a candle. Some of you could be healers. Some of you like to research or read. Maybe you work in the space of literature or writing reviews or whatever the case might be. But I think you've also taken a step back to look at how your career has shaped up till this point in time and how you want to grow it further. What are things that have worked for you and helped you get to this stage? But I think a lot of you have realized that what you need to take your career to the next level might be different from what got you to where you are right now. So I think you're in a very empowered state, Scorpio. At least these are your thoughts. We'll go into how, therefore, you show up at work. But I think in your thoughts, you're showing me very strong, bold energy, taking control of your life, taking control of environments, situations, people, projects that you want to work with. I like this. Five of Pentacles in the reverse and Eight of Pentacles upright. And Scorpio is a very hardworking sign, I think, because you have that sense of, we're often called, I'm a Scorpio sun myself, we're often called obsessive about things in life. It could be anything, right? But once we've, sort of set our sight on a goal, we get pretty obsessive about it. So I think you're in that thing right now. You're in that space right now, Scorpio, where I think maybe a lot of you don't know concretely what is it that you're trying to build as a next step in your career. But I think you know that you have what it takes. And that is the Scorpio kind of rising, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. I know it sounds like a complete cliche, but when Scorpios go through that journey of the soul and you start to understand that what you seek to build, you've got the tools, you've got the skill set to get there. I think you're in that stage. You haven't quite figured out what exactly that next step is, or maybe some of you have, but I'm intuitively picking up that a lot of you are in this ruminating kind of phase, that what do I want to do next when it comes to my career? Maybe some of you are contemplating a complete career change. Some of you are contemplating starting something of your own or starting a side hustle or a switch in your job or like change up companies, like things like that. I feel you realize that you are more powerful than your environment and like you are your environment. And if you change your thoughts and if you change the way you think about money and career, it can actually bring in a lot of abundance. It can bring in everything that you seek. Okay, so let's see what has happened. Sorry, no, before we go into the recent past a little bit more, I want to check how have you been showing up at work lately? So if these are your thoughts, how have you been showing up lately at work? Eight of Swords, interesting. Interesting. And I think this kind of confirms what I was getting from those two cards. You're up in your head because you're in that reflection stage. So this is a confirmation for me as a reader that a lot of you are still in that reflection stage. And therefore, sometimes you tend to feel like you're up in your head, you're wrapped up in your thoughts, you don't know how to go forward. But hang in there, Scorpio. I think when we pull out more cards, we'll get you the guidance and see how you can start to shift perspective from the Eight of Swords into, hey, I can do this. Hey, I'm stronger than this. Or how do I say this? Like I'm getting a very empowering vibe. Like when I'm reading the cards right now, I'm feeling really good in my energy. I'm feeling really good in my body. So I feel a lot of you are waking up to your potential. Yes, you're waking up to your potential. I think I might title this reading that, Waking Up to Your Potential, Scorpio. And obviously, transition phases are a little bit like this, where you're up in your thoughts. And I think because you might need to walk away from something that you've worked really hard to build, maybe over the last decade or years or months, that is making you a bit anxious because the epiphanies are starting to come now and you're realizing that, hey, I mean, it's been great so far, but where I want to go next, I need to do things differently. And that requires me to step away from the world that I've known in my career and my professional sort of representation in the 3D world needs to look very different. But Scorpio, you know that if there is a sign that can completely pivot their life and do what they truly want to do in this lifetime and align with your soul purpose, it is definitely Scorpio, because you've got what it takes. You've got that obsessive quality about chasing after your dreams, your goals. And the great thing about Scorpios is that they don't really let external validation stop them from doing things that they need to do because they're a fixed sign. So once they are fixated on an idea, they really will go after it. And plus, it's a fixed water sign. So you're very driven by how you feel in your life, right? So how you feel at work, how you feel in love, how you feel in partnerships, how you feel in relationships. And emotions become a bit of a compass for you. So even though, let's say, a lot of you might be making really good money, right? So let's say, touch wood, like money is not an issue for you, but your soul's not invested in your career right now, or your heart seems to be checked out of the equation. And for a Scorpio, that's just not good enough. You know, I think for some other people, and it's not so much about being a Scorpio or not, for some people, it's fine. You know, it pays the bills, it's a job is a job is a job. But I think for the people who will resonate with this reading today, those are the ones who are really seeking to bring their soul purpose to life, to bring their vision into manifestation. Those are the people that I'm talking to in this reading, I think. So that's why you're showing up a little bit like, oh, I worked so hard to be where I am, and now I completely want to do something else. But I think the future, we'll pull a few cards later in the reading on the future. But I think you're just at that tipping point, or some of you are already in this transition period. So what have your past experiences looked like when it comes to money and career? What has shown up for you? What have you built for yourself? What has the past been like in your money and career? Let's see. Nine of Swords. Wow. Scorpio, from the Eight of Swords, you go to the Nine of Swords. Okay. You've been feeling a little bit out of it. Again, this reading will probably resonate with, maybe it's a very specific reading today, so I apologize in advance, might not resonate with a lot of people, but I think some of you have realized that, nah, this doesn't work for me. And I don't think it's about something concrete. I don't think it's about the designation or the titles or whether you made the money that you wanted to make. I think this is, again, that you're feeling disconnected from your source. You're feeling disconnected from your soul. And your source, Scorpio, a big one, I mean, a big source for you is your emotional depth. And I think you're feeling like your career and profession is not is not at the same level of emotional depth as your life needs to be as a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, or, yeah, mostly, I guess also if you're a Scorpio rising, you would really resonate with this. Look at that. I just happened to see it on like in the camera. It says Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You've had that little soul stirring. Something has caught your fancy, Scorpio. Some idea, some way of pivoting your career has caught your fancy. And now you're like, damn, I've worked so hard to build the life that I have. But a Scorpio that's inspired, a Scorpio that's jumped upon an idea, I think, yeah, I'd want to bet my money on that Scorpio because I know that they will get to it. I know they'll figure out the right kind of people, the right kind of setup, the right kind of resources to bring that to life. Okay. So what are your future expectations? What are you expecting from your money and career? Let's say if we lived in a utopian world and you got whatever it was that would feel more aligned with your soul and your purpose, what would that be? There are a lot of swords that are coming out, and look at the synchronicity of this. You've also got the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords. But this, I hadn't asked the question yet to the deck, so I'm going to keep the Seven of Swords on the side because I feel, Scorpio, you are realizing that maybe a lot of times you've been coming in your own way. And maybe this can often mean a card of self-sabotage, or when you had the opportunity to pivot or work more in a directed way, you probably at that point didn't have the luxury of doing so. Look, life is hard. Sometimes we do have to do things because we need the money, because we're supporting a family, because other people rely on us. I get all of that, no judgment whatsoever. But I think that the sun is now, or something is coming to light. You can no longer unsee what you've seen, or unknow what you know now about how you feel about your money and career sector. Oh, I think this reading's going to be amazing. I think this reading's going to be one of those Scorpio readings. Oh my God. Okay, I'm excited to pull more cards. So what are you expecting from your money and career sector? Oh, I did see the Empress. So just in case she comes out again, she popped back into the deck, but I did see her, which would be very opportune for this question. What are you expecting from your money and career in the future? Yes, you're expecting victory. You're expecting to be standing in the light. And I don't mean that, oh, you want all sorts of public recognition. Maybe some of you do, and that's amazing. But I think you want your soul to be lit. And I think even though here we see like this woman in, sort of in getting that public recognition, you see applause in the background. I feel this is more letting your soul be recognized, coming into your own. Yeah, this is what you're expecting. Scorpio, this is beautiful. You're stepping out of this Eight of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Swords into this is what you want to manifest in your work and money career sector. You want to be acknowledged for who you are. And I don't think that you can front anymore. I don't think that path of, hey, I'm just doing it for now, and then I'll figure out what my true calling in life is. I know that my inner purpose is something else, but I'm just doing this right now because of XYZ reasons. I think you can't escape it anymore, Scorpio. You have set your eyes on the prize, which for you is working in a space or working in a way that feels very aligned with who you are as a person. I think let me give you an example. So let's say you're somebody who believes a lot in creating inclusive workplaces, and everybody should feel like they can bring their whole self to work. And that's who you are as a person, let's say, right? But you currently work in a company or a job, or in a business environment that doesn't really serve to that feels very divided. That feels like if you have to do well in this certain company or in this cultural setup, you need to be a certain way. And like something of that nature also is triggering you. And you're just like, no, if I believe in this. So basically what I'm trying to get to is that your value system is becoming very important to you now when it comes to your money and career. You want to work in places, you want to work with people, you want to work on projects, you want to create work that is aligned with your value system. And I think it could be something like, hey, I really want to work remote, but my job requires me to be in the office like 4 days in a week. And you're like, no, that's not aligned with my value system, or I don't want to manage people, but my job is that of a manager. So you're like, no, that doesn't work for me, right? So just apply it to your situation. But I know there are like a bunch of other cards we need to pull from the deck, but I'm just feeling so excited for you, Scorpio. I wish you could feel the energy that I'm feeling, because this is like really exciting to move from this energy of helplessness. I'm trapped. I don't have the power to change my reality, to move into expecting the Six of Wands is beautiful. And that is how Scorpio operates in life, because we are known as the death or the transformation or the rebirth card in the tarot, which is all about closing out cycles, checking in and seeing, hey, am I still aligned with who I am as a person, what my value system tells me, what my beliefs tell me? And if anything or anybody or any setup is not congruent with that, I think a Scorpio will do what is needed and walk away. You've got the star at the bottom of the deck. This is destiny stepping in. And while you stand up for yourself and you show up for yourself, the universe will show up for you, Scorpio. I just know it. Okay, let's look at your environment. What's happening in your external environment? Let's see what are the energies that play in your external environment. The Magician. You have what it takes, Scorpio. And I think I started the reading by saying this to you. The Magician basically has all the tools at his or her or their disposal, right? So you can use wands, which is all about creativity or passions. You can use swords, which is like your cognition, your intellectual prowess, your, intelligence. You can use cups, which obviously, is our suit. So we know emotions really well. And we also know how to manage our emotions really well. And then you've got pentacles, which is the tactile resources, your time, energy, effort, your money, your abundance. You have what it takes, Scorpio. That this is your environment. And therefore, I'm not surprised that you are feeling that you're on this journey from the Eight of Swords to the Six of Wands. And I'm sorry, I keep going back to it because I wish you could see, like, because of my table, I keep looking at the cards, and I think I get so excited and so amped up when I see this sort of transition in the cards, because this is the power of the tarot. This is the power of thinking the thoughts that you want to think and then aligning your life with the thoughts that serve to your purpose, Scorpio. You are the magician. You are in power. You can create the life that you want. And this is Spirit's direct message to you, that if you have any doubts, if you came to this reading thinking, yes, I do think that something in my work life is amiss, something's off, but I don't think I have what it takes, or how will I get there? How will I get to that Six of Wands? Direct message from the universe and your spirit team that you have what it takes. You are the magician, Scorpio. Love it. Let's see, what are your strengths and skills that you bring to the table right now? What's the energy around like yourself? Let's see. Oh, Ace of Cups to the King of Cups. The King of Cups is the card of the Scorpio. So that's why I kind of turned him the right side up, because that was just confirmation, because we asked for energies for yourself and you showed up in your own reading in the self card. So that is just awesome. I love it when my spirit team is so on point. Thank you so much. Ace of Cups. What is your strength right now? What is the core skill set that you bring to the situation? Is that you are willing to try something new, or in fact, you want to try something new. And we got the Cups card. We didn't get the Ace of Swords. We didn't get the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Pentacles. What did you get? The Ace of Cups. And I think somewhere earlier in the reading, I said that your emotions, we feel everything. You've not been feeling what you need to feel in your money and career sector lately, Scorpio. And that is the change that you're after. You want to be in a place where, I think, because you're so powerful, that even without your heart being in your money and career sector, you've manifested abundance, you've done okay for yourself, you've done well for yourself, you've been able to provide for yourself, your family. Imagine now if your heart was also invested into your money and career sector, what kind of abundance you could unlock. I think some of you have stumbled upon that thought process and you keep thinking about that what if I could just give myself a shot, stand up for what I feel invested in? What if I could truly show up for how I feel about money and career, or what I want to create for the world, what legacy I want to leave behind, which helps me feel happy and joy, right? And doesn't have to feel all those conflicting emotions of like, oh, I'm fronting to be someone that I'm not, or even though I know this doesn't really work for me at a soul level, but it's okay for now. That's not a great feeling, right? When you're outside of when you're out of sync with yourself. That's not a nice feeling. We're human beings. We can lie to the world, but we can't lie to ourselves. Our body will tell us. Some of us get physiological symptoms. We get sick, we get a cold, we get a headache, we get a migraine, whatever the case might be. That's just your body telling you that you're out of sync with your own inner alignment. And what's happening to you, Scorpio, is magical. Something in you has sparked that magician energy that no, but I can create the life that I want. And it's amazing. You're waking up. And a lot of you watching this reading have already woken up to this truth that, hey, you know what? Now I want to work in a space which is connected to my source. And look how beautiful this card is. It's like opening up your core, opening up your center. Ooh, Scorpio, you're basically finding yourself. And you're finding yourself in a way that you feel confident you can also manifest in your money and career sector. How cool. Okay, let's see. Who are the people around you? So this card is more about more about like people, your surroundings. The magician is in your environment, but this is more about who can help you, who are the people that can support you, who's in your tribe. Let's see. Who's in your tribe? Who is the Knight of Cups? I love how on point today my spirit team is. I mean, they always are, but I think they're just extremely magical today in this reading because for the self card, they gave us the King of Cups, which is a Scorpio card. For what we have in our environment, they give us the magician energy, which is literally the birthing of a seed, like putting something new. It's the number one card. So number one in the tarot, number 0 is the Fool card. And the tarot is about the Fool's journey across all these different cards, different energies. And he starts at number 1, which is the magician. So you're on the brink of something amazing. And who do you have in your environment who can help you? Somebody who has an offer for you, or somebody who wants to work with you, wants to collaborate with you, wants to. I know this card looks rather romantic, right? With that little love letter and him, with that love letter and him holding the roses and whatnot. But in a career setup, it really is somebody who, again, it's a cups card. So this is somebody who will make you feel very aligned with yourself. I'm loving this. I'm loving this, that the last 3 cards have been all cup cards. So we're basically manifesting our tribe at work. We're manifesting people who want to work from an emotional space and not just from a cognitive space. And that's where Scorpios tend to do really well, because Scorpios, like I said, are fixed water signs. If our emotions are out of sync with our money and career sector, we get burnt out, we get tired. Like I was saying, it's just not good for our body, not good for our soul. The 4 of Cups, it leaves us feeling a bit dejected, a bit like bored. Ooh, 3 of Swords, right? When we're talking about heartbreak and whatnot, like it doesn't feel good, right? But you have somebody in your environment who has the idea, or who has an idea to grow the seed that you are planting, who can collaborate with you, who can give you the complementary skill set to grow this idea into something. Or if you're just manifesting a new job, a new company, a new environment, I do see the potential of a new offer, or like offer letter coming in, something like that in your environment. That is so cool. So let's see, what is the likely outcome then for money and career for the month of July 2023 for the Scorpio collective? What is the likely outcome? The 2 of Swords, you're going to have a decision to make, Scorpio, and we are not surprised to see this card in the likely outcome, because that's what this whole reading has been about. You have to now choose a path, and you have to remove that blindfold, Scorpio. And I think a lot of you already have, which has led to this soul stirring, because you removed the blindfold. You're like, no, it's not good enough for me that it only works at a cognitive level. It has to work at an emotional level as well for me when it comes to what I do for work. I'm going to pull one more on the 2 of Swords. Let's see, what is the toss-up between? What's the decision between? Even though I think I don't even need cards to do that. The Fool has shown up on one side. Yep, taking that leap of faith, starting something brand new. This reading is clear as day. Like the messages, it's just flowing so well. Between the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God, this is beautiful. You got 2 major arcanas, which means they're big energies. The universe is re-steering you, re-navigating you back onto your path, which requires you to have that leap of faith, to believe in yourself, to believe in what your heart is trying to tell you about your money and career sector, Scorpio. And the Wheel of Fortune is one of the most opportune cards to get in a money and career reading, because it really is the Wheel of Fortune. So money connecting back to what I was saying, I think a lot of you are asking the right questions and you're saying, hey, if I could do this when my heart wasn't invested, imagine if my heart was invested, how much financial abundance, emotional abundance I could generate in my life. Scorpio, you're looking golden in July 2023, but I feel this is more of a spiritual, inner kind of workings of the mind when it comes to your professional life. I'm pretty sure in months to come, and we'll pull some future energies. Actually, let's first pull the future energies. What's coming in for the months like beyond July? So let's say August onwards. What's coming in for Scorpio? What's the likely outcome? The High Priestess. You start to listen to that gut of yours. You're a very intuitive sign, if not the most intuitive sign. You start to pay attention to the little nudges that the universe has been trying to give you. You've been receiving like downloads. Now, I know maybe it sounds too overwhelming. What does a download mean? But it could mean like, let's say you go somewhere and you suddenly feel this bout of energy, like, in your core. And suddenly you're like, wow, I'm just feeling really alive, really connected to life suddenly. Make note of those moments, Scorpio, because that is the universe, your spirit team, or your guides trying to give you clues as to how you could connect the dots and create that life where most of the time you feel like that. Obviously, look, everything in life has its ups and downs. So you're going to get some cosmic sort of downloads from your spirit team. So be very open, maybe keep a pen and paper with you, like a little notebook, carry it around, because I have a feeling you might meet someone and that soul fluttering starts to happen. You might go somewhere, you might be in an environment that's very visual or very appealing to you, and suddenly all your five senses are firing. Make a note of that, Scorpio. This is amazing. In the months to come, Page of Swords, Six of Cups, some of you are connecting to what you wanted to do when you were younger. And they say we know ourselves the best when we are kids, because when we grow up, society takes over, socialization, parental pressures, community pressures, all of that start to come in. In the next few months, I would say July onwards, July, August, September or so, you're connecting back to who you thought you wanted to be, what kind of career you wanted to create for yourself when you were a kid. And some of you could be going back to school, because you know how she's reading this book, and the Page of Swords is often the card of like learning a new skill, being an apprentice. Maybe you decide to like partner up with this Knight of Cups who is in your environment and in your tribe card, and you decide to learn something from this person, or they take you under their wing and you learn a new skill, which is what you always wanted to do as a kid. Maybe there was a hobby or an interest that you wanted to pursue, but then you got busy with life and with kids, mortgages, payments, all of that, like life took over. In the next 3 months or so, in the next 6 months, I would say, this is a Six of Cups. So I would say July is a very big month for you in terms of like these epiphanies and reorienting your belief system to what you want to create in life. And then you also have the right opportunities and the right kind of people showing up for you in the month of July. And this continues then till the end of 2023, I would say, where you really start to connect to what you wanted to do your entire life, but you haven't been able to get to it, Scorpio. This is beautiful. I'm going to get you some guidance. I'm going to switch decks. Let's get you some advice. This is beautiful. I'm so excited for you, Scorpio. Do let me know in the comments section how this is resonating. And I would say come back to this reading. Ooh, 2 cards have flown out in the next 2 weeks or 3 months. I can see there's a 5 of Cups. Okay, and I can see, hold on. I can see the Tower, which obviously is one of our cards because we are ruled by Mars, the Tower card, and 3 of Wands. Something that you've been waiting for unexpectedly will show up for you in the next like 2 to 3 months. I would say the rest of 2023, you are figuring out your emotional disappointments in work, and not just figuring, like firstly acknowledging what has not worked for you from an emotional standpoint, and also coming up with a plan as to how these ships can arrive, how the things that make you happy from a professional standpoint can start to show up in your life. This is beautiful, Scorpio. Stay the course, I would say. Listen to those intuitive downloads, make notes, and then refer to those notes over a period of a few weeks, and you'll start to connect the dots. You'll start to see a pattern there. That's what Spirit is asking me to relay to you. The other thing is you have the right kind of opportunities and people in your environment. So be very conscious of that. Help is definitely around you. And Scorpio, trust your gut, trust your emotions. It won't lead you astray. I think you're headed in the right direction. I wish you all the best, Scorpio. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, please do hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel. Take care. Bye bye.